After many years of relentless ash storms from the ever-erupting Red Mountain back in Morrowind, Solstin's southern reaches had transformed into pure ash wastes, reminiscent of those present on Vardenfell itself. The storms would leave behind deep dunes of ash that made life exceedingly difficult in Ravenrock. In order to protect the town from these drifts, Brera Morvayn proposed that the East Empire Company construct a large wall of her own design to protect the east end of town. The company quickly agreed and provided the necessary funds. After almost a year, the construction was complete, and the huge edifice was named the Bulwark. The wall provided to be extremely effective and allowed work to continue unabated in the mines. In the 16th year of the Fourth Era, when Solstin was passed into the hands of the Dunmer people, the East Empire Company was forced to relinquish Ravenrock's control to House Redoran. The council quickly named Brera Morvayn as a councillor of their new town, and allowed her to rule Solstin as she saw fit. As a result of this changing of the guard, almost the entire Imperial population left Ravenrock and returned to Cyrodiil. Brera continued to welcome the Dunmer that elected to settle on Solstin. Some chose to stay in Ravenrock to work in the mines, others took to more familiar territory and began a nomadic lifestyle in the ash wastes. The next few decades were the golden years for Ravenrock. Brera Morvayn was keeping the peace, the mines were producing large quantities of ebony, and the Dunmer that lived on the island were happy. Almost 50 years of prosperity. In the 65th year of the Fourth Era, Brera Morvayn finally succumbed to old age and passed away. She was interred in the family's ancestral tomb, and her son, Leril Morvayn, took her place. The people who had lived in Ravenrock during Brera's time as councillor were pleased to discover that Leril shared his mother's notion of rulership. He was fair and compassionate, which kept the people on the island quite happy for many more decades. So all was going well in Ravenrock until the 95th year of the Fourth Era, when an attempt on Leril's life was made without warning. Fortunately though, the attack was unsuccessful thanks to the prowess of the Redoran Guard. Under questioning by Captain Modin Velith, the assassin was revealed to be Valur Ulan of House Hlaalu. House Hlaalu had been at odds with House Redoran for many years following their removal from the Council of the Great Houses. The Hlaalu believed that House Redoran was instrumental in this reorganisation, and have held a grudge ever since. Their attempt on Leril's life was meant to send a message to the council that House Redoran were not as mighty as they might have seemed, and they were truly vulnerable and weak. The Redoran Guard investigated further and discovered that Valur had been organising a coup in Ravenrock in an attempt to fully wrest control of the island from Leril's grasp. Valur and his conspirators were executed and the coup was quelled. Several recent events have served to solidify the Dunmer people's respect for Lerith Morvayn. In the 130th year of the Fourth Era, the Bulwark began to show its age and threatened to crumble. The councillor elected to use the bulk of his personal fortune to have it repaired. In the 150th year of the Fourth Era, a small force of Argonians landed on Solstin with the attempt of wreaking havoc on the island, and Councillor Morvayn led the charge against them personally. And in the 170th year of the Fourth Era, when the ebony mine finally began to dry up, he drained the remainder of his coffers to keep the people fed. By the year 181 of the Fourth Era, the mine's ebony veins were completely exhausted. Leril ordered the mine to be shut down, and Ravenrock turned to hunting and fishing for its trade. A few Dunmer families departed for Solstin and returned to the mainland, but most stayed behind. At present, Leril Morvayn is still the ruler of Ravenrock. The Redoran Guard continues to maintain order within the town and the surrounding area, keeping Ravenrock's residents safe and in line. If even so much as a rumour of dissent reaches Leril's ears, he has it quashed immediately. He's well aware that there may be a few Hlaalu loyalists still present among her population that would like to see him dead. The future may appear bleak for Ravenrock, but the spirit of its inhabitants will never be broken.